Welcome to Anime Fanjutsu, where we talk all things anime. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Anime Fanjutsu. Today, it is just Becky and Christian, and we have a fun episode planned. We're going to do our top 5 characters from Hunter x Hunter and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We've got our top 5s, maybe a few honorable mentions, and we're going to argue for why we think these characters should be in the top 5. And we'll start with Hunter x Hunter. So, Christian, you go first. Who is your number 5 in Hunter x Hunter?
Oh, my number 5 is Hisoka.
And why do you think Hisoka deserves to be in the top 5? Pedophile that he is, why do you think?
Because he's cool and he can fight cool.
He does fight cool. So actually my number 5 is a tie, and it's also Hisoka, just because he's so weird and iconic, and I like his aesthetic. And Crollo, because to me, they're a package deal. So I have them together as number 5.
I like Hisoka better in the manga because he gets cooler after where the anime stopped.
I feel like Hisoka and Crollo are a part of Hunter x Hunter that I wish was fleshed out a little bit more. Maybe it is in the manga. I only watched the anime, but I feel like that was a story that was starting to get really good that I liked, that was kind of ended very quickly.
They fight in the manga, but I don't know if that's ever going to get animated, but it's a good fight.
Okay, number 4. Who's your number 4?
My number 4 is also a character that's mainly in the manga because he barely does anything in the show. But it's Jing, Gon's dad.
Historically known as the worst dad in anime history.
He gets better in the manga, or I like him better. He doesn't get better.
Are there any redeeming qualities to him in the manga?
No.
No, you just like him anyway.
He's a loser, and I like him.
My number 4 is Netero, and I will tell you why. I got 2 reasons. Number 1, he looks like an old man, but he's super buff. And 2, he ultimately sacrifices himself for the greater good, and I feel like that makes him deserve a place on my top 5. I like that even though he's old, those kids can't keep up with him. And as an old person with small kids, I envy that. This is where it's going to start to get weird. Okay, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Meruem, because he's cool.
He is cool. What's your favorite thing about Meruem?
I like that the whole arc is about him like battling his humanity because he's one of the only ants that has like human in him.
Yeah, when he finds out his name and he thinks about his mom and all that, I feel like the good hallmark of any villain is if they are relatable. My 3 is one half of one of the best bromances in all of anime, and that is Ikago. For people that haven't watched Hunter x Hunter in a while, you will remember him as Killua's little octopus friend that just has a really sour attitude but comes through big time and ends up being one of the best characters in the show. I love him. I love that he wears a beanie. I love that he has an attitude. I love that he argues with people that he's not an octopus. He's great. Number 2.
My number 2 is Crollo.
I knew that you loved Crollo, that Crollo was one of your favorites.
Because my favorite scene in any anime is the scene where he's on top of the building and all of the Phantom Troop are like killing everybody.
So I have, we've talked about this before, I have an anime playlist on YouTube Music that's just a bunch of anime songs that I like, and the classical music that is playing during that scene, I have it on my playlist, but one of the things that's super annoying, and I don't know why, is that for some reason that song is way quieter than all of the other songs on the playlist. So you have to turn it up. And then when the next song starts, if you're wearing AirPods or something, it deafens you because of how loud it is after that. But that is a really cool scene. I remember before we even started watching, you were telling me how that was your favorite scene. My number 2 is actually Meruem, for all the same reasons that you made him your number 3. I think he's such a good villain because you kind of feel sorry for him and you kind of relate to him, and he's not just a bad guy, and that's kind of tragic. So in all of Hunter x Hunter, the very first anime that we fully watched together. We tried to watch other anime before this, but it's the first one that we finished together. Who is your favorite number one character?
My favorite character is Morel.
Ah, yes.
Because he's cool, and he was mean to Gon and Killua at first, and then he was nice to them when they proved themselves.
I remember when he first was in the show, and you were saying he was your favorite character, and I remember thinking, why this guy? And then he got way cooler.
And he has the fight with the lion guy where they talk about how they listen to the same music.
And he's named after a mushroom, so I like mushrooms. He's Smoke Guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I wonder if he's named Morel because of, like, a mushroom cloud. Is that how he got his name? Who knows? My number one is obviously my number one because he's my favorite anime character pretty much of all time, and that is Killua Zoldyck, because he's just super tough. And it's not just that he's tough. Like, there's a lot of characters that are tough that I love, but he's tough and he's a kid on a skateboard. So I like the dichotomy of, like, he's so incredibly tough. Like, you can't electrocute him because his family's done that his whole life. You can't poison him because he's been drinking poison since he was a little child. He is a professional assassin as a preschooler, and I just love that he's super tough, but also just like a cute little kid. One day, soon, hopefully, Christian and I will have our Hunter x Hunter tattoos, and I will have Killua on my ankle forever. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Nope.
What? I have two. Maybe we should have like named our least favorite characters. Maybe we can give a couple of those. My two honorable mentions, though, number one is Peggy. The main reason Peggy gets an honorable mention, for those that don't remember, Peggy is one of the Chimera ants, and Peggy is hilarious to me. One, because Peggy so doesn't look like a Peggy. Peggy is like a sweet little lady name, and this is definitely not a sweet little lady. And two, Peggy led me to the creation of the first meme that I ever designed, which was the Skylar sisters, and I replaced Peggy's face with Peggy from Hunter x Hunter, and it just said "and Peggy." And I thought it was hilarious. Nobody else probably did or even saw it, but I still think it's hilarious. And my other honorable mention is Wing. One, I love characters in glasses. Two, I love that he seems like kind of nerdy and weak when he's teaching them all about Nin, but then you find out that he's like this like really powerful Nin user. Who's your least favorite character from Hunter x Hunter?
I don't know. I didn't think about it. Oh, I know. The bomber guy from Greed Island Arc, because he's the worst villain ever.
Bummer. Yeah, he's not my least favorite, but he is kind of lame and hilarious. But he's funny enough to me to not make him my least favorite.
I think he was just boring and lame.
I think my least favorite, there's two choices. It would either be Killua's gross brother that collects the inappropriate figurines, or Illumi when he's not Illumi. Like, he freaks me out. And
I like Illumi.
he's an abusive brother.
All of Killua's siblings are, though.
They are. They're terrible. That's why I like Killua so much. He managed to come out of that family sweet. And I love his bromance with Gon, because it's like he is in the middle of this bromance before he realizes that he actually has a friend. And it's super moving when he actually realizes, whoa, I have a friend, because he's somebody that didn't think he would have friends. And I love it. So let's move on to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Again, I have honorable mentions on this one too. But just like on our first list, I don't know why, but my number 5 on both of these is a tie. And it's because in both of them, there are two characters that are inextricably linked in my brain. So my number 5 is Hawkeye and Mustang. Like, they are a pair to me. They are one of the couples I ship in anime. OTP. They do what they say they're going to do. They're honest. They're above board. I like them. What about you? Who's your number 5?
My number 5 is Olivier Armstrong.
The Northern Wall of Briggs. What do you like her?
Because she's one of the only good well-written female anime characters. Because Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood or Fullmetal Alchemist was written by a woman, so actually all the woman characters in Fullmetal Alchemist are good, but she's my favorite one.
It was written by a woman?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. No wonder it's got cool characters like Armstrong and Hawkeye.
And it doesn't have all the fan service that other anime has.
Yeah, I like that the female characters are actually really strong and beautiful, but like they can be strong and beautiful and not naked.
It's only Lust that is, and that's because she's literally Lust. She has to be.
Right, like that. There are very few times where I'm like, well, yeah, that supports the story, but yeah, that supports the story. And even she is not as inappropriate as some of the like not villain characters.
Yeah, the incarnation of Lust is like more appropriate than like all the Seven Deadly Sins characters.
Yeah, or the ReZero characters. And I love both of those anime, so no shade. Yeah, wow, that's mind-blowing to me. I don't know why I never knew that, but that's really cool. Okay, my number 4, which I feel like is going to be way higher on your list, is Ling, but after he's Greedling. Greedling is number 4. And I feel like the reason I put him there is because you can actually see a transformation and a character arc and development, and he starts out not being likable at all and turns into a really likable character. And I like when characters grow.
I really like him. He is higher on my list.
Who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Führer Bradley because he's cool and evil.
He is, and I don't know if Salim is on your list, but
no, he's my least favorite character.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like he's awful. It's like I didn't think I could hate a child character, but I hate Salim Bradley. But yeah, Führer Bradley, he's got a really cool voice too. A lot of the people in this show have really cool voices. The voice acting is top notch in Brotherhood.
This is also the only English dub that I like to watch, except maybe the One Piece one now.
Yeah, now that we are smack dab in the middle of it. My number 3, and this is because I'm a sentimental softie and I love just sweet, gentle, wonderful characters, and he was taken from us too soon, is Maze Hughes.
I really like him too. He didn't make my list though.
I just feel like his departure was tragic and I wish we could have had more of him. And when people think back on him, it's always with like how wonderful he is. And so he had to make my list. Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Scar because he had a cool like redemption story.
I knew that he was going to be on your list, and I thought about putting him on my list, and I didn't. My number 2, you have already said, is Olivier Armstrong, and it's because she is so tough and so moral and wholesome and still also beautiful, which kind of bucks the trend in anime of either you are like this beautiful, dainty thing, or you're like this tough, ugly character. I love that she's beautiful, but also super tough. And I love that even when she's told like, hey, the odds are very against you. If you do this, you'll probably be wiped out. She's like, no, I got this. And I love a character with swagger, and the swagger in me recognizes the swagger in her, and I really respect her and love her character. Who is your number 2?
Greedling is my number 2 for the same reason you said.
I knew that he would be 2 or 1, and I know now who your number 1 is. Who is not on my list at all. But yeah, he's a really cool character. Again, like other characters, when you like Morel, when you first said that you loved Greed and Greed was like one of your favorite characters, I was like, really? This guy? But he grew on me. Okay, my number 1 is my number 1 for the same reason that I love Anya Forger and all sweet characters that need to be protected at all costs, and it is Alphonse. I love Alphonse. I love that he is such a good brother and he doesn't complain, even though he lost his whole body. He's always looking out for other people, and I just love his little voice. His voice actor is so good, like all the others in that show, but I just love how sweet he sounds. I feel like he makes the show very poignant, and it makes me feel like I have like something that I really want to root for and make this like I want to keep watching the show because I want to see Alphonse get his body. What about you? Who's your number 1?
My number one is Hohenheim because I liked his backstory because they were talking about how bad their father is, but he was actually cool and he wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Like, Hisoka's not a super bad villain. Yeah, I knew he would be your number one, especially when I heard that Greedling was your number two because you loved him. You love characters like him. He reminds me so much of Zeke in Attack on Titan. He was like your favorite character.
That's my favorite character in Attack on Titan too.
I feel like if animations were real people, that the animation that plays Zeke would be the animation that plays Hohenheim. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Alphonse was on my list, but I took him off because I forgot to put Scar on there.
So he's an honorable mention. So funny, neither one of us had this on our top 5, but I have 2 honorable mentions. One is Edward Elric because the show is about him, and he is a really good lead character. I feel like most anime that I watch, the lead character is not my favorite character, but even though he's not my favorite, I can see that he's a really good character. Like, he's a well-developed character, and I like him.
He's a good main character, but the main character is never going to be my favorite.
My other honorable mention, and just because of the tragedy of the character, is Nina Tucker. Nina Tucker was done wrong, and I want to honor her by making her an honorable mention. And if you haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or you're starting it, I'm just going to tell you, when you get to Nina Tucker, don't get too attached. It's sad. She's great, and she deserved better. Least favorite character in Brotherhood. Is it Salim?
Wait, no, you reminded me. It's Show Tucker, Nina's dad.
Yes, he's the worst. How do you do that to your kid? What a loser.
But then it's Salim after that.
Right. The only reason he was able to do that is because Salim didn't know to do that, or he would have done it. Like, he's the worst. He knows how powerful he is and knows that everybody thinks he's a sweet little baby and uses it to his advantage, and he's garbage. Do not like. So the last thing I want to talk about today is my Temu order. Some people say Temu. Some people say Temu. I don't know how you say it, but I'm going to say Temu because that's the first way I heard it pronounced. If you follow on our Instagram or the blog, which if you don't, you should, I posted that I had ordered some things from Temu, mostly things that were anime related, and I posted some pictures of them. If you follow us on Patreon, I'm actually going to be dropping this week a video review of the items I got, where I talk all about the pros and cons, give you up close video of what everything looks like, so you can decide if you want to order things from there. But I just want to go through real quick and talk about the things that I got. So the first thing that I ordered were Tanjiro's earrings from Demon Slayer. They were 89 or 99 cents. It's in the blog. I can't remember at the moment, but the quality of them was really good. So the pattern is on the front and the back. A lot of times when you order really cheap earrings, the pattern will only be on one side and the back of them will be just like white or black. And these, it is on both sides, and they look so great. I wore them last week and got compliments on them from people that didn't even know what they were from, that just thought I had like big chunky earrings on. Then I also got a couple of Shinobi headbands that were hidden leaf. One of them was a regular hidden leaf Shinobi headband like Naruto would wear, and the other one was Itachi's that had the hidden leaf symbol marked out. The headband part is pretty cheap. It's very like thin material, but the actual symbol on the front, on the little metal part, is the metal is real metal, and it's actually really cool. And I think it's great just for cosplay or Halloween or something. It's definitely not super high quality, but they were $1.07 each. And for $1.07, I give them like 10 out of 5 stars. They are super cool. Then the last thing that I ordered was a Kakashi figurine. I have decided that I want to start collecting the anime figurines and decorating my office with them, but I don't want to pay $100. So Christian, when it's his birthday or Christmas or something, sometimes I will buy him one of the more expensive ones because he loves them and he is collecting them. But for me, I'm not collecting. I just want to look at them because they make me happy. So I ordered one that was $6.29, I think, of Kakashi. And does it look like a $100 anime figure? No. Does it look amazing for $6? Yes, I love it. Christian, you saw all the stuff I ordered. Tell me what you think about Temu.
For the price, it's okay. It's like the figure was not that good, but it was only like $7 or something. So
yeah, it was $6.29. It wasn't even a full $7. And I feel like if I set it up on a shelf, especially like I wear glasses anyway, if I set it up on a shelf in my office, when I look over at it, it looks fine from where I'm sitting.
it looks good if you don't like look at it close up.
Yeah, and like how many people are going to go like pick it up and examine it? Like just sitting on a shelf, I feel like it gets the point across and it makes me happy. So now I'm going to probably end up spending way too much money ordering things off of there. I've already found an Itachi I want. I will tell you, one of the caveats of ordering from there is a lot of this stuff I'm sure is knockoffs, because you can't just search, like to get the Kakashi figurine, you can't search Kakashi or Naruto. You have to just search anime figurine, because with these not being licensed, they don't want to get caught by the companies. And so they're selling them under like Anime Guy, Anime Ninja Man. I think there was one of Itachi that was called like Handsome Anime Boy. So you have to like really, it's kind of like shopping at the thrift store. You really have to like just dig through everything to find what you're looking for. But for $6, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to dig. They have a cute little samurai chopper figure on there that Christian needs. I will say, if you are interested in Temu, you should just do an order, spend less than $10. Shipping is free. Make you a $10 order, and then you can judge the quality for yourself. Read the reviews anytime you order anything online, even from Amazon or anything. Just always read the reviews and you'll be okay. Thanks again for listening. And if you are enjoying Anime Fanjutsu, head on over to our Patreon page. The link is in the description of our podcast. We would love for you to check out some of the benefits we have for members over there. And thank you for listening. Anime Fanjutsu has a podcast, obviously. That's what you're listening to. We have a blog, we have social media, and now we have added a YouTube channel. So in the future, hopefully we'll be doing some video podcasts on there. But right now we have one video that is an unboxing video of a Naruto Sasuke box that I got. And we will have the Temu review video going up soon. And hopefully we'll just have more anime related videos on there before you know it. So go be one of the first people to sign up and subscribe on YouTube. When we get to 500 followers, we'll be doing a giveaway. So make sure you are there before that point. And we'll see you over there. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to follow Anime Fanjutsu on Instagram. We are at Anime Fanjutsu.